Hey everybody, Punisher88 here, coming to you live once again with another weekend review. And today I'm actually doing a two-part review. That's right, so part 1 is going to be of C.O.W.L issue number 4, and part 2 is going to be of C.O.W.L issue number 5. So, I figured I haven't reviewed any C.O.W.L stuff in a long time. The last time I did, it was in a double review, and I reviewed issue number 2 and number 3. And I will post a link in the description of that video, although I must warn you, that is one of the very early reviews I've ever did here on YouTube. So yeah, the video is like 27 minutes long, and basically I winged the whole thing. So if you guys are still up for watching it, that's cool, you know, be my guest, but again, you've been warned. So a little bit about C.O.W.L. Basically, it is a series about the very first superhero union. It's formed by a group of superheroes in Chicago in the 1960s, and I love this series. I've been with it since issue number 1, and there is a trade of the first story arc, which is the first 5 issues, if anyone wants to jump on the story. And right now they're at issue 9, and yeah, I just love this series. I find it's really good. And one thing that has me curious is, in all your videos out there that I watch, whether it be hauls and weekly pickups and whatnot, I never hear this title mentioned. So I was curious, do you guys just not feel like picking it up? Or did you pick up the first issue and decide, nah, this isn't for me? Let me know in the comments. Let me know what your thoughts are on the C.O.W.L series. Another thing, C.O.W.L is a title from Image Comics, which is amazing. They're doing so much great stuff right now, and yeah, I just love this series. So let's get to it, huh? So, for those of you who watch my reviews, you guys know that I like to start with the cover first, so let's check it out. I love every cover that's come out so far for C.O.W.L, and the first 5 issues, the covers are done like this. They have this like silhouette artwork to it. Then with issue 6, which I think is meant to be a one-shot, they kind of went in a completely different direction and changed all the artwork for just that one issue, and they went with like a pop art look, which I think is really cool too. And even like the interior artwork is kind of the same as the cover. It's very bright colors, really pops out at you. And then with issue 7 up to the current issue, they went back with the silhouette covers, as I call them, which I have no problem with. But the big thing I like about the covers for C.O.W.L in general, not just this one, is I like how they pretty much give a nod to 2 classic 60s, I guess they're like spy shows. The way the name is written itself, how it's all abbreviated words, reminds me right away of the show Man from U.N.C.L. And then the actual artwork on the cover, the whole silhouette thing, kind of reminds me of, at least this is just me, it kind of makes me think of the animation intro to The Saint, which is another awesome show with a really cool theme song. And yes, I urge you guys to go check out those 2 TV shows. I know they're making a movie about Man from U.N.C.L sometime soon, but the TV show is where it's at. And I just really love, the nod to those 2 things. So yeah, right from the covers alone, I'm sold. So now, with the covers out of the way, it's time to get down to what I like to call the nitty-gritty. So, before I get into it, I just wanted to mention this is more towards the newer viewers to my channel. If at any time during this video or some of my recent uh, reviews, if you've noticed that I look up and down at the camera quite a bit, or it just sounds like I'm reading to you guys, that's because I keep my notes in front of me. Why do I keep my notes in front of me? Well, if you watch the video below, you'll know exactly why I keep the notes in front of me. Basically, I find with the notes it kind of helps the review flow a lot smoother compared to my earlier videos where I winged everything and I was very, all over the place. I repeated myself a lot and just it wasn't cool. And second, with the notes, let's say I'm looking over something and I get stuck, I could backtrack to what I just read and then keep going. So, and then third, well, I was never great at memorizing big chunks of text. So all in all, the notes are pretty much just to help or aid me along. So if you guys are cool with that, awesome. We'll get through this and we'll be on our way. One other thing I should mention, these two videos are pretty much aimed at those who have read the first 3 issues of C.O.W.L. But if you haven't read C.O.W.L at all, thanks for watching anyway. So, let's get to part 1. So, as C.O.W.L Chief Jeffrey Warner, who is this guy right here, the Gray Raven, he leads his men to the picket lines against Mayor Daley's proposed hiring of non-C.O.W.L heroes, and it's up to Deputy Chief Blaze, who is another C.O.W.L member, to try and unite this fractured department back together. And with the inaugural arc of this series coming to an end in the coming issue, which is issue 5, the troubles for C.O.W.L are continuing to heat up. The intrigue and eternal conflict really abound in this issue, as chaos and mystery really continues to beset the restless streets of 1960s Chicago, really building up to a lot of conflicts that will likely shake the city to its core. Navigating problems both at home and with fellow heroes, Blaze has really inherited a divided home. He's really caught up in a lot of stuff right now. And the slowly unfolding story of Blaze's brother Elliot, who is a former member, or a leader actually, of the Chicago Six, who we found out, I think, in issue 1, were a team of supervillains from back in the day. And there's also teasing of future tensions as Blaze's ward and nephew, who is Elliot's son, we find out manifests his father's powers, which are kind of like a Flash kind of, he has the power of speed pretty much. We see that in one of the panels. Also, demonstrating outside City Hall, picketing heroes start to cause tensions with the police, and while Eclipse and Radia, who are 2 female members of C.O.W.L, continue their own little secret assault on mob boss Camden Stone, who I think we see in issue 2. And what began as settling the score with Stone has turned into an ongoing mission as Radia takes point on a bloody series of raids, and despite Eclipse's reservation and the pressures of the ongoing strike. So Eclipse goes along with her, but deep down she's kind of torn about the whole thing because of with the striking going on with the heroes and everything. It's just a lot of stuff going on. And also, as Pierce, who is a Private Eye with the GCPD. Oh boy, the CPD. I'm thinking of Gotham here. He continues to unravel the conspiracy of the C.O.W.L designed weapons we found out about in, I think it's like issue 3, just the last issue. And Blaze must deal with the whole PR disaster of Arclight's extracurricular activities. Now, Arclight is another member of C.O.W.L, and I kind of like this character because he's a good guy, but he's a little corrupt too. So I kind of like that. After an ensuing skirmish, Warner further pressures Blaze by choosing Arclight to to put him on the picket line as the new face of C.O.W.L, and that just starts creating more tension among the department's already fractured leadership. Before any of this can really be resolved, a big fight breaks out on the picket line, and heroes start to clash with the police, and in a real violent show of power, and it just makes things far worse than they already are. Another thing about this series is it has a lot of smart and it's smart and very well scripted. Writers Higgins and Siegel really prove that their deconstructed vision of superheroes amid the political corruption of 1960s Chicago works, and it works well. And if you're wondering their full names, it's Kyle Higgins and Alex Siegel, if you want to check them out. The tension comes from tightly written character interaction rather than just throwing a big fight sequence together, and with the palpable discord between this cast really simmering to an inevitable conflict. Something's brewing and the outcome's going to be really big. So much that when the action kicks in, it's actually kind of pleasant rather than outplayed, or overplayed, I should say. As Radia inflicts what I think is some real satisfying bloody violence on Stone's superpowered muscle, the decision to put Radia in the forefront of her and Eclipse's war on Stone was also a pretty cool move. In that positions her to take a more defiant stance among the rest of her teammates and whatnot, proving she is much more than just a pretty face. Also, the little teases I mentioned before about Blaze's brother Elliot really set the stage for some family turmoil, as well as further intrigue regarding the redacted material in the back matter, really opening the door to an interesting dynamic in coming issues. And what I mean by the redacted back matter, I'll show you here. In the first story arc, so the first 5 issues, the back page after the story looked like this. Now, I don't know if you can pick it up, but it's basically like a file page, and the redacted stuff is this stuff in black here. So I find it's pretty cool that they put that at the end of each story, basically giving a little background on a certain character. Like for issue 4, it's Blaze who's mentioned. And as for the artwork, beautiful is the only word that really comes to mind. The line work is really defined and really elegant looking, with a real kind of painterly look to it when it comes to the color, the texture, and everything, and it just really brings a lot of depth and feel to some of the small, real clever composed panels. The soft, almost gauzy sunlight in the sequences at Blaze's breakfast table, which I'll show you here in the beginning. As you can see here, well, it doesn't come up on camera very well, but You can see there the sunlight coming through. It just, I find, are some of the most loveliest pages in this issue, with the bold highlights on the characters' skin really affecting the heat of a sun-warmed kitchen. Uh, Also, I like the small, thoughtful touches they put into this book, like the smudged white marks of telekinetic energy shielding Radia from the rain in her big fight scenes. I'll try and show you here. Hold on. I'm trying to find them. Somewhere in here. Hold on. Where the heck is it? I just saw it before. Oh yeah, see? Right here. It's like a white smudgy outline. Sorry. A white like smudgy outline. So I thought that was pretty cool. Glare. Pretty cool effect. And another thing I liked was the use of, this was one of my favorites, and it's only in 3 panels. The use of white in a dark hallway to outline a character's silhouette right here. I just think those are pretty cool images. Pretty neat. And all in all, I find it just really makes this book a real delicious visual experience. So yeah. So that's my little walkthrough on issue number 4. So I'm going to cut it here, and you guys stay tuned for part 2. Alright, so I'll see you guys in a bit. Punisher 88 signing off. See ya.